first of all, man, first SEC Media Days.
Yep.
You're going to be pretty much a first-time starter this year, and here you are at SEC Media Days. So what does that feel like just to have that experience already?
It's pretty awesome just having the opportunity. Coach Jones picked us. It's pretty awesome just to be able to come down here and represent the whole team in front of the whole country.
Mack, a lot of people are asking about quarterback. But there's a lot to replace in the offensive line. How much of a key is it going to be for you guys to gel early and get going in the right direction?
It's going to be huge. Offensive line, that's all it's about is learn how to play together, play right next to each other. So that's what we've been doing all offseason, is just learn how each other play. Doesn't matter who's next to you. We've been getting a lot of time together, just together, on and off the field. So it's going to be very important.
Mack, were you surprised when Butch asked you that he told you he wanted you to represent the team down here, or were you expecting that?
I wasn't really expecting it, but I guess I was surprised a little bit, but I'm very honored to even have this opportunity.
Coach Jones mentioned nobody on the roster has been to a bowl game. What would it mean this year to be able to get over that hump?
That's our main goal, is just to get to a bowl game. Like you said, we have a lot of young guys, and I think that's a stepping stone that we're aiming for sure.
Is that a reasonable goal? I mean, a lot of people are projecting 4-8, 5-7. You've got so much to replace. Is it reasonable to expect that you guys can play in the postseason?
Absolutely. Having young guys is no excuse. We all have a job to do, and we're going to go out and do it to the best of our ability.
Mack, Butch talked about your leadership ability. You haven't been a regular starter. Is it a challenge to be a leader when you're not, one of the guys that's starting all the time? How do you manage to do that? Why do players, do you think, respect you as a leader?
It's really not as big of a challenge as you might think, just because of the guys that are underneath me. They like we have a lot of young guys, right? And they all really appreciate any advice that they can get, because they all want to get better. So me, Marcus, and Kyler, some of the three older guys on the team or on the offensive line, we all have a pretty easy job leading those guys, just because they want all the information they can get.
Part of SEC Media Days is kind of selling the program and what you guys are doing. How would you sell Tennessee right now? What's the pitch?
We're just coming together as one team. That's what Coach Jones wants us to do. Like everybody knows, we do have a lot of young guys, and coming together as one is going to be a big part of our success this upcoming season.
You face Kurt Magid in practice. How much of a difference can he make for this team being healthy?
He can make a huge difference. He's finally healthy, like you said, and I think we're going to see a lot of good things out of him this year.
Mack, when you first came to Tennessee, what were your expectations? And I assume they were higher than what you guys have achieved the last few years. And how have you dealt with that?
My expectations, just like any other football players, to win. And all we can do now is not focus on the past and focus on the upcoming season, starting with Utah State.
Mack, a little bit of a different question. You guys were able to have a great win against South Carolina last year, a comeback win. For you personally, Coach Spurrier is a Science Hill guy. You're a Tennessee High guy. Does that mean a little extra to you?
I didn't really think about it that way. I just thought of it as another opportunity to win, and they were a team that came into our stadium, and like every other team that comes into our stadium, we're looking to win. So,
thinking about it now, is going against Coach Spurrier something you had ever considered maybe when you were in high school?
No, not really. I mean, try not to focus on that type of stuff. Whenever I go in to play a game, I'm usually just focused on the guys lined up in front of me.
Mack, how much have you guys talked? I mean, you know everybody out there is talking about the offensive line and the potential struggles and everything that you're wasting. Do you talk about it? Do you guys ignore it? Do you use it as motivation? How do you guys handle when people say the weak part of the offense? They've got all the parts, but the offensive line is such a question mark. How do y'all take that?
We do talk about it, but we just realize that it's just opportunities. And like you said, there is 5 new starters, and it's going to be opportunities for us to play, for us to come out and prove that we can hang with everybody else. And we do have a job to do, and we're going to go out and do it.
Since you were a backup last season, and a lot of these other guys were, have you guys actually maybe practiced together more as a unit than people would expect, since you're an all-you offensive line?
Well, just because we've been backups doesn't mean we haven't been playing together. For the past 3 years or so, we've all been lined up next to each other. Besides, the freshmen that just got here this year. So we have been practicing together, and it's just our time to step up now.
So you feel like that gives you an advantage chemistry-wise? Because I think a lot of people go, well, it takes a while for a line to gel. Do you feel like maybe you're further along as a group gelling than the outsiders would think? Because you guys have practiced and scrimmaged beside each other and have some chemistry there?
Yeah, we have practiced, and I guess we'll just see how far along we are whenever the first game comes along.
Mack, was it a huge boost to you guys to have a coaching change simply because you weren't having success, and then a new guy comes in who's very enthusiastic and very different? Was that a big boost for you guys?
I wouldn't say it was a big boost, but the past is the past, and right now all we're focused on is this upcoming season. We're obviously happy that Coach Jones is here right now, and we're looking to press forward underneath him.
Like, how much of a help is it that you have the same offensive line coach for consecutive seasons?
That actually does help quite a bit, just because we have been in the system now for 2 years. Before Coach Jones got here, I had to learn three new playbooks. So having the same thing in front of me 2 years in a row is going to help.
What about strength coach? Same scenario?
Yeah, I mean they all have their own styles, and right now I'm very pleased with Coach Lawson. I mean he's really pushing us. This offseason's been brutal so far, but I mean we're getting a lot better.
Do you ever flash back? You talk about having learned all these playbooks. Do you ever have a mental lapse where you revert back to an old play, the way it was called in the old playbook?
That only lasts for a few months, but now all that's kind of out now.
But
yeah.
it happened earlier.
It did happen, but usually it's gone by the end of camp.
Everybody talks about what's coming back with the skill position players, but the question marks on the line. Talk about that and how you guys approach that heading into the season.
We came together as an offensive line, and we talked about it, and we just realized that it's opportunities for us. Opportunities for us to come out and play, come out and show that we can come out and be as good as everybody else. So, like I said, it's just opportunities, and we'll see what happens come first game, Utah State.
How long do you think it'll take for this line to gel together?
We've already came a pretty good ways, but we do have a lot of gelling left to do, and I think we'll be ready to go. Probably midway through the season, we'll probably be all the way
Mack,
gelled together.
The opportunity to come down here and represent the university, and talk about that and what you're expecting this experience today.
It's a great experience, a great opportunity, and very, very happy to be here. Just being in front of all these cameras representing the university and Team 118 in front of the whole country.
Are you surprised that you got selected? I mean, you have one start in your career. I know you played quite a bit last year. But are you surprised that you were kind of tapped to be here?
A little surprised, but more excited than anything. Just like I said, being able to come down here and support the team in front of everybody.
Mack,
That's kind of a responsibility a little bit.
Say what?
Do you feel like that maybe was a responsibility a little bit, like the coaches that this is maybe sending you a message like, hey, you're the center. There's only 3 guys that get to come here. You're one of them. Does that kind of send some bells off in the head, like, okay, I got to do this now?
I mean, it is a responsibility for me to step up as a leader, and just like Kurt and AJ, I mean, I guess this does target us as one of the 3 biggest leaders on the team, and yeah, I mean, it does kind of in my head kind of get me going for the rest of the season, saying, all right, it's time to step up and play.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did.
Did you empathize with the center on Denver's first play of the game?
When he snapped the ball over?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the worst nightmare of a center, especially on the first play of the Super Bowl. So.
Things really settled down after that, though.
Oh, yeah. Were you pulling for Denver, or did you care?
I was. I mean, I'm a big Peyton Manning fan. You have to be, so especially being from Tennessee.
Matt, speaking of Peyton Manning, having guys like him come back and work with you guys over the summer and hang out with you and talk football, what does that mean to you guys as a team?
It's pretty amazing. It's an experience you can only get at the University of Tennessee, and you just realize how smart he is really in the game. If you learn anything from Peyton Manning, it's watching film, being smart, knowing your opponent better than even the coaches. So,
Mack, even though you haven't you haven't been a regular starting lineup, but you played a lot. What are maybe some experiences from last season that make you feel more confident about your own ability this year, playing against some good teams last year and some good defensive lines?
I think the start against South Carolina was probably the biggest booster of confidence, mainly because I finally got in there and got to go up against some big SEC defensive tackles fresh in the game. I mean, most of the time I got in towards the end of the game where the guys were already worn down, so I wasn't really sure how they were at the beginning, but it was good to feel them.
We got Clowney and Kelsey. You got Kelsey Quarles. I mean, that's one of the better defensive lines in the SEC.
Yeah, it was. So, like I said, it was a big confidence booster.
Were you really nervous going into that?
I was, but I usually get nervous before every game. Yeah.
When did you make me feel like a vet a little bit? You know, because you kind of show up at college and you're a 17 or 18-year-old, and then at what point did you say, okay, like maybe I'm not a kid anymore. Maybe this is grow up time.
Last year, whenever they called on me to play some. Anytime you get in the game, you have to man up and do it. There's no way around it, and there's 102, 455 watching in the stands. So, if you're not strapped up for that, then you're going to be getting embarrassed.
How familiar were you with UT tradition coming in here when you first started playing?
Coming from Tennessee, I mean, you know that Tennessee's a winning football program, and the fan base is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they love Tennessee football, and there's probably no better fan base in the world. So, I mean, tradition runs very deep at Tennessee.
Mack,
you guys
with media days, you're going to get some oddball questions
Yeah.
upstairs. So I'm going to start you off here.
Okay.
When you go back home, what did you get at Pal's?
Double big pal with cheese, extra peachy peach tea with a fry.
Mack, to I guess kind of that's a tough one to follow there, Austin. Just you guys got a whole new offensive line this year. How are you guys going to be different? How is this offensive line going to look different than the one that was Tennessee last year?
It's hard to compare, I mean, it's two completely different offensive lines, like you said, so I probably won't sit here and compare them, but I guess I can talk about our brand a little bit and what we've kind of come together as an offensive line and established some goals for ourselves, so to speak, but we want to be mentally and physically tough, and we want to wear guys down by blocking until the whistle blows. And I mean, that's what we're going for.
Is that the brand that you guys have talked about since before spring, that you try to kind of build that in spring, or is that something that's kind of come along more in the summer with everybody here?
No, I mean, we kind of had that in the spring, and I guess it really started last year whenever we realized that we were going to be the new five guys. So. That's something that we're just going to continue to work on.
Mack, how much do you weigh right now?
295.
Do you consider yourself undersized for an offensive lineman? It seems like a lot of 300-plus pound guys out there.
Not at all. I just have to be quicker than those guys and pack a little bigger punch.
How much did you weigh when you first got here?
Probably 265, 270.
Has it been a challenge to put on weight? Or?
It has been a little bit, but strength program at UT, I mean, even over the past 3 years has helped me mainly put on muscle. So.
Mack, people never notice the center really until in the Super Bowl when the snap goes awry. What's the key on that shotgun snap to being good at that? What do you have to do?
Just have to practice it every day. Hundreds and reps in the off season, and
you do that every day. You're snapping the ball.
Every day I'm snapping the ball.
How many times do you think you would snap it in a day?
It just depends, really.
100.
Some days 100, some days more, some days less. But every day I'm getting work at it. Working full speed off the ball. If you don't do that, then bad things can happen. So.
I heard you guys got some night runs in at Neyland Stadium this summer. Just talk a little bit more about those. Is that kind of a team building, team bonding type thing?
Yeah, those are always great team bonding experiences. Just being in Neyland, that atmosphere, even with nobody in there, it's pretty special just because it's so huge, and it really kind of brings you back to reality and lets you know, man, this is definitely a privilege that I have to play here.
How late were you guys in there running?
Oh, not too late, I don't believe so. I mean, we didn't go past 10 o'clock.
And just in the weight room, I know everyone says they have a great summer, but what did you see? Kurt said there were a lot of PR bells ringing and stuff. Do you think y'all are kind of in the best shape strength-wise since you've been here?
Oh yes, definitely. you can definitely tell a big difference, and even our bodies just looking at them, you know. But yeah, Coach Lawson's doing something special, and he's pushing us very hard every day.
Do you guys get tired of the talk about this team being they added all these skill guys, but they don't have anybody on the offensive line? I mean, do y'all hear that? Do you acknowledge it at all, or how do you?
Yeah, we hear it, and if anything, we let it motivate us. But you know, at the end of the day, we realize that it's our time to go out and play, and we have a job to do, and we're going to go out and do it.
Do you remember your first time in Neyland Stadium?
Yeah, we didn't get to run through the tee because it rained. So yeah, that was the first game I had.
Did you come to Neyland Stadium before you came here to play? Had you ever been in Neyland Stadium?
Oh, I had, yes, to watch some games.
Yeah, as a kid, do you remember coming in?
I didn't come much as a kid. It was more whenever
Later.
Yeah, I was in high school.
Last question.
What's your favorite rivalry at UT, and what makes Tennessee so appealing right now to some of the prospects around the country?
Rivalries are tough. You know, we have a lot of good games, so I probably couldn't just pick one. All the games are big to me, and I guess the next game up is the biggest rivalry to me.
Okay, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.